This is Puff Television. There was a press release by the Nigerian Youths for Atiku Association calling on the president of Nigeria to either wind up or change his economic policies. We have with us a member of the Nigerian Youth for Atiku, Dr. Kayode Adedayo. Welcome to Puff Television.
It's my pleasure being with you this evening.
Nigeria is aware that even Atiku, who contested the 2023 presidential election with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also wanted to remove fuel subsidy, which everybody is attributing the current crisis, economic crisis of Nigeria to. Why would you stand to blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the same kind of action that the former vice president will have also carried out if he had emerged the president of Nigeria through the 2023 presidential election?
Number one, are we saying it is the removal of subsidy alone that is causing economic hardship for the people? No. You also have some other ones. For instance, protection of our currency. Policy somersault of this government. But let me go back to that particular oil subsidy removal that you were talking about, because yes, my own principle then, because I was also the spokesperson for Atiku presidency in 2023 in Lagos State, was to remove it. But did Bola Ahmed Tinubu ask him the style he was going to use to remove it? Are you also aware that the removal of subsidy, if Alhaji Abubakar Atiku had won the election, does not necessarily mean that the pump price will go up? A driver that has passed a route before is better allowed to drive a vehicle, not a new driver that will now be learning, that will now be envisaging where bumps, potholes, bends are. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had been there before. So he is aware of all the intricacies, all the market intricacies that are involved in this thing called oil subsidy. But here is Bola Ahmed Tinubu that had not even stepped into that office. It was still on the swearing in. You said you are removing oil subsidy. Have you been able to have meetings with stakeholders within the industry? Do you know what and what were on ground in that industry? Was he even aware? Was he even aware that even at that time, the pump price was going at 190 naira per liter? NNPC was making a profit of 100 naira per liter. You can Google it. And even this particular assembly at inception also narrated that at 190 naira per liter, NNPC was making a profit of 100 naira per liter. So my brother, tell me, where is that subsidy? And that's why I was saying, he never asked His Excellency Atiku Abubakar how he was going to do it.
When you said he never asked, who were you expecting him to ask from?
The question is this: if whether you have been elected or whether you have grabbed it and ran away with it or whatever it is, constitutionally, he was being sworn in as the president of Nigeria. So why don't you ask questions? You're supposed to ask questions.
From who?
From the people, the stakeholders. NUPEC, they are stakeholders. The senior staff too are stakeholders. Peter B is a stakeholder. Alhaji Atiku is a stakeholder. The World Trade Organization Director General, Okonjo-Iweala, is a stakeholder. These are people that you're supposed to ask questions from. If you had asked questions, like they always say in Yoruba, abere ọ̀nà ò kì í ṣìnà.
Are you
But
saying
when you feel too garrulous and you think that you know it all, definitely you will miss the road. And that's what we're experiencing.
You are talking about a two-term governor of the most progressive state in Nigeria, Lagos.
Can you define that progressive, please? Define that progressive in terms of revenue generation and developmental activities. You need to define it along that line.
Today,
and again, Lagos is different from Abuja.
Today, Lagos is called the economic nerve of this country, and it is seen to be the most orderly, perhaps where a lot of industries are thriving. And
where are those industries? Sorry, sir. Where are those industries? Where is Dunlop, Michelin, PZ, Egmire, all those paint shop, all those paint industries on Obakran? Where is what do you call it? Vitalo. So many of them like that. Where are they? I say industries are striving.
Well, I think that is a problem that has been brought about by lack of proper steady electricity supply.
And so why is, if you are saying Lagos State is having a lot of money, why can't Lagos State also generate enough electricity for those industries to strive? So where are they putting that money? What's the definition of mega city? What are you supposed to have for you to be able to call yourself a mega city?
Okay, now,
these are issues.
Are you saying the president doesn't have people good enough to consult with?
When you're talking of an organization, my knowledge had made me to understand what we call leadership responsibility. Leadership responsibility. Whatever happens, whatever is going to happen, the buck stops at its table. That is number one. Number two, if you are talking about people that understands properly in APC, I will say yes, they are right. But again, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. As the leader of the party, as the one that is bringing them on board, they have to follow whatever instruction is being given to them by him. Yes, they are going to lose their positions because they are all there at his beck and call. Whatever he tells them to do is what they will do. You can imagine the kind of fiscal policies that we have been experiencing in the past 1 year, and that is causing a lot of economic hardship for Nigerians. We have Wale Edun there, Minister of Finance and coordinating minister. You have Cardoso there in Central Bank of Nigeria. But look at what is happening to our Naira. Look at what is happening to our Naira. The question I want to put to you today, my brother, is this. What is Cotonou producing that is making Cotonou's currency to be valuable than Naira? What is Ghana producing that is making Ghana cedi, to be valuable than Naira? If not because our government had deliberately failed to protect our Naira. There is no country that doesn't protect its currency, mark you. No country. Look at what is happening between China and America. They are all protecting their own national currency. But to what extent are we doing that to our own? And that is why we are where we are today.
As a result of the removal of subsidy, the government has made a provision for CNG, and then it is now providing facilities across the country. Imported.
How many facilities has the government provided? How many facilities? Wouldn't it have been better if truly this government is for the people? Wouldn't it have been better for all those facilities to be in place before removing or before jacking up the price of PMS? No, tell me. How many have they provided? I have never seen it. Have they been providing even the vehicles that they talked about? The vehicles that they said they are provided already, how many people can it carry?
Dr. Adedayo.
And if they supply some, what is the fare that they are collecting there? These are issues.
Dr. Adedayo, will you agree that after the removal of fuel subsidy, the state government across the country are now receiving more than 100% addition to their previous allocation? Isn't that a gain from the fuel subsidy removal?
The money that they are giving them in Ekiti, is it getting to you? Is it getting to you? They are just swapping Paul to pay Peter. Is Peter now extending that money, giving to him to maybe another disciple? No. You are just making the governors to become richer and richer. What have they been using the money to do? What have they been using the money to do? What kind of developmental projects has these state governors been using that money to do? You just see that they say they are building flyover. Who needs flyover? Is it flyover that will bring bread and butter to the table?
Some of those who argue on the side of the government are saying that there should be more attention to the state governments and that the presidency is not really to be blamed about everything. That if the population should turn attention to the state government that are receiving far more than what it was, we could feel less pain. So what do you say to that?
The question is this. Yes, state government are receiving more money now. But is the state government responsible for the skyrocketing price of PMS? No. It's from the government. 2, is the state government responsible for the protection of our naira, for our naira to have value? No, it's the federal government. Is the state government responsible for also controlling the tariff of electricity? No, from the federal government. These are the 3 major things that affects people's livelihood. 3 major things that affects people's livelihood. Weapon price is very low, and electricity tariff is also low. People will have enough money. People will have enough money to buy goods and services that will ensure their good livelihood. Okay? Then the money that the state government is also spending within the state will also stay, will also have value. Will also have value. So, if you are saying we should go to the state, that means such a person is not being conceptual. We have to be conceptual in dealing with issues. We have to, first of all, address some of these issues with the federal government, with the presidency, before the thing can now trickle down to the state and then later to the local government.
But do you agree that this problem did not start from this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Now, let me also tell you this. If the thing did not start from his administration, must he continue? You ask for the job. You say, okay, you will control, you will correct the misdeeds of the past. But kakakewe abonde, níṣe ló ń lé sí. Kakakoro lára ìyá àjẹ́, níṣe ló tún bí obìnrin sí. Obìnrin ní kó ijó.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Dr. Adedayo,
do you understand?
You say the average class has been wiped off, according to the press release of your group. What exactly do you mean by that?
Before, you have the upper class, you have the middle class, you have the lower class. There is nothing like middle class again. Because it will be hard. Somebody like you before now is supposed to be of a middle class. Why? Because you can afford to give somebody stipend to eat or to do one thing or the other. How many people can you assist now? Even you yourself, you'll be looking for somebody to assist you. Because so this is a television station, I'm aware how much money you'll be spending to buy diesel. That's part of it.
Are you saying we are now all in the lower class and there are no more upper class?
No, if there's anything lower than the lower class, I will say yes. Because people cannot eat again. How many times have you eaten today? Let's be sincere. How many times have you eaten today?
Once.
Have you been eating? Have you been eating the way you have been eating 2-3 years ago? I mean, have you been able to pay your children's school fees? Talk less of assisting somebody. And even if you have paid, is it the way you have been paid before now that you paid now? You yourself, you know the kind of economic hardship you are facing. Now, Christmas is coming. Are you planning to buy your children clothes for Christmas? Are you going to, you have been thinking now of how to buy rice and chicken? So that will be
now, you say that subsidy is normal. According to the press release, subsidy is paid everywhere. But we are aware that it's not today that Nigerian government from a long time now had been divesting itself of many responsibilities. What makes this government different from others who said, oh, we should be paying school fees, the universities should be generating funds all over, and today the latest is the removal of subsidy on fuel. What makes this government action different from previous ones?
Yes, you see, you're going to see that each time we have a change of government before now, they always settle down to study the books because they know they are coming to a very new terrain and that any action or inaction will affect people's life either positively or negatively. And the first responsibility, the first constitutional responsibility of any government is to ensure safety and economic well-being of its people. So to that extent, actions and inactions must be geared towards this. You have to first of all study the books. You have to first of all look at policy alternatives. You have to first of all look at effects of actions and inactions before knowing which step to take. But this government refused to do that. And here we are today.
Your group is asking the federal government to reverse the recent increase in fuel price. You know that it is not likely that the government wants to do that. And you're also asking that the government should reverse some of its economic policies. And it's unlikely from what
policies.
Yes, and it's unlikely from what we've seen over time that the government is doing that. And the last question you asked, the last suggestion or request of the government is to bow out. These are the three requests.
Yes. In Yoruba, they will say, that is, if you know you cannot solve my problems, then please go and leave me the way I am. Let me see how I can solve it. Or get somebody else to come and solve my problems.
But you know that change of government cannot come until 2027. No election.
Yes.
So if the government doesn't bow out and does not listen to the request for change of fuel price and changing certain policies, don't you see that this is the way things will continue to be until 2027?
No, we aren't going to allow that. Because aside from elections, there are still other ways in which we can force him to bow out.
How?
There are other constitutional ways. You want me to tell you that?
Okay, go on.
We can report him to the National Assembly. We can report him to the National Assembly.
You see the National Assembly?
We can write a petition against him to the National Assembly.
Do you see the
And then we all go to that National Assembly and debate it. We have our representatives there. We have our representatives there. And they have to do our biddings. We have them there.
Do you see the National Assembly going against the interests of the sitting federal government?
There is nothing that is impossible. Nothing that is impossible.
Now, a lot of people have said the PDP is in a state of comatose, and this has led.
Those are the people. Are they within? Are they within PDP? They are outsiders. Do they know what is happening in PDP? You see, sometimes the way some people talk, I just laugh. It's because they don't understand the dynamics of organization. So, whatever PDP might be facing now, I see it as a way of reforming the biggest and the most performing political party in Africa. Because you can never compare the 8 years, the years that PDP spent in power. You cannot compare it to that of APC. You can't. Because along the line, it made Nigeria the strongest economy in Africa. And one of the fast moving, third largest moving economy in the world. We also saw a lot of people that PDP brought up where they are now in the world space. People like Okojo-Iweala, people like Akinwumi, who is in African Development Bank. But one thing is very sure, PDP is coming out strongly. PDP is coming out strongly. And come 2027, Nigerians will know what to do. Enough of deceit and palliative governance on Nigerians.
Thank you, Dr. Kayode Adedayo, for sparing this time with us.
And you see, let me quickly give you this information for you to know that God is on our side. As we are learning on this interview, rain just started falling. That is to say, we have planted the seed. We have planted the seed, and rain is now falling on it for a bountiful harvest for Nigerians. And Nigerians will get out of these comatose come 2027.
People of the fountain.